If you are seeing this right now, before this total lunar eclipse hits, stay here. Because what I am about to tell you about what is getting ready to walk into your life is going to change the way you see everything you have been going through. I know something about you, and I know this because the kind of person who clicks on a video like this at this hour is not just casually browsing. You have been carrying something, this quiet heaviness that you cannot fully explain to anyone in your life. On the outside, you are functioning, you are showing up, you are handling things. But on the inside, there is this feeling like you are standing in a hallway. The door behind you closed. You know it closed. You felt it. But the door ahead of you has not opened yet. And you have been standing in that hallway for weeks, maybe months, wondering if anyone even notices how much energy it takes to keep going when you do not know where you are going. You probably were not even planning to watch this tonight. You were just scrolling, trying to quiet your mind enough to fall asleep. And then this title stopped you. And I need you to understand something about that moment. That was not the algorithm. That was not random. There is a total lunar eclipse approaching, and it is already sending its energy ahead of itself. That heaviness you have been feeling, the old memories resurfacing, the exhaustion that sleep does not seem to fix, the strange sense that something is about to shift, but you cannot see what. That is the eclipse. You are already inside its field. And the fact that you found this video while that energy is moving through you tells me that you are one of the people this eclipse is actually here for. So here is what I need you to do. I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because I am going to walk you through exactly what this eclipse is activating, why your life has felt the way it has felt recently, and what is specifically, tangibly, almost unbelievably about to change. And I am not talking about vague promises. I am talking about something real that is making its way toward you right now, something you almost gave up on. But before I tell you what is coming, I need to talk about where you have been, because I think the last few weeks, maybe longer, have been a lot. And I do not mean busy, I mean heavy. There is this feeling you have been waking up with, not every morning, but most mornings, like something is sitting on your chest before your eyes even open. And it is not sadness exactly. It is not anxiety exactly. It is this gray, flat, in-between feeling where nothing is terribly wrong, but nothing feels right either. You go through the motions. You answer the messages. You show up where you are supposed to show up. And if someone asks how you are doing, you say fine. You say good. You say busy. Because there is no way to explain what is actually happening inside you without sounding dramatic. And you are so tired of feeling like you are too much. Can I tell you something? I know about the 2M thoughts. I know there is a version of you that only comes out when the lights are off and everyone else is asleep. The version that lies there and thinks, is this really it? Is this what my life is going to look like? And you push that thought down every single morning. You bury it under coffee and tasks and keeping it together, but it keeps surfacing, especially lately, especially in the last few weeks. And I know about the searching. You have been looking for signs more than usual, reading your horoscope with a different kind of attention, maybe pulling cards when no one is around, saving screenshots of things that feel like they are speaking directly to you. You have this hunger to know. Not to know the future like a prediction, but to know that there is a pattern, that the randomness has a shape, that someone or something out there can look at what you have been going through and say, yes, this is supposed to be happening, and here is what comes next. I want you to hear me when I say this. There is nothing wrong with you. Nothing. What you have been feeling is not a sign of weakness. It is not regression. It is not you failing to be positive enough, or grateful enough, or strong enough. What you have been feeling is the exact, precise, unmistakable symptom of something enormous about to change. And I can prove it to you. Here is what is actually happening in the sky right now. And once you see this, Everything you have been feeling is going to make a kind of painful, beautiful sense. A total lunar eclipse is not just a full moon. It is not just a regular cosmic event that happens and passes. A total lunar eclipse is what happens when the Earth moves directly between the Sun and the Moon and casts its shadow across the entire lunar surface. And I need you to think about what that means symbolically, because this is where it gets personal. The Sun is your external life, your identity, the face you show the world. The Moon is your inner world, your emotions, the things you feel but do not say, your deepest needs. And during a total lunar eclipse, the Earth, your physical lived reality, everything that is actually happening in your day-to-day life, moves between those two things and blocks the light. For a few hours, the universe is saying, stop performing, stop managing, stop holding it all together with white knuckles. Let the shadow fall and look at what it reveals. This eclipse is falling on the axis that governs the tension between control and surrender. Between the part of you that tries to fix everything through analysis and effort and discipline, and the part of you that knows, deeply knows, that some things can only arrive when you stop reaching for them. You have been living in that tension. I know you have. Trying to hold it all together on one side, while something inside you is whispering, just let go on the other. And you do not let go because letting go feels like giving up, but it is not. And this eclipse is about to show you the difference. Now here is what makes this different from every other full moon or lunar event you have experienced. Eclipses work on the axis of fate. They are connected to the lunar nodes, which are the points in the sky where destiny accelerates. The south node is what you are releasing, the pattern that has expired, the version of your life that has reached its completion date, even though you are still trying to live inside it. And the north node is what you are being pulled toward, the future that is calling you, the life that is waiting on the other side of the release. And this is what I need you to understand. This eclipse opens a corridor, not a single day, not a single moment, but a 6-month window where what enters your life carries a different weight. The people who show up during an eclipse corridor, the opportunities that appear, the realizations that land, they have a fated quality. You will feel it in your body before your mind catches up. Something in you will recognize it, not because it is familiar, but because it is correct. The energy of this eclipse has been building for weeks. That is why you have been feeling it. The exhaustion, the old memories, the dreams that feel too vivid to be random, the sudden tears over things that happened years ago. You have been in the pre-eclipse field this entire time. Your body knew before your mind did. And the fact that you found this video right now, in the middle of that field, tells me that something in you is already reaching toward what is coming. Everything I just told you about this eclipse, the shadow, the nodes, the corridor, I did not share that to impress you with astrology. I shared it because I need you to understand that what you have been living through is not random. It is not chaos. There is a pattern so precise, so intentionally designed, that when you see it clearly, it is going to rearrange the way you understand your own life. So stay with me, because this is where it shifts. I want you to imagine something. Imagine you have been living in a room, and for a while this room was fine. It was comfortable enough. You could move around, you had space, but over the last several months, something started happening. The walls started shifting inward, not fast enough to panic, just fast enough to notice. The things that used to fit in this room stopped fitting. The relationship that worked stopped working. The job that felt stable started feeling suffocating. The version of yourself that belonged in this room started feeling like a stranger wearing your face. And you thought something was going wrong. You thought your life was shrinking. But here is what I need you to hear. Your life was not shrinking, the room was. And you have been doing what anyone does when the walls start closing in. You tried to make yourself smaller. You pulled your elbows in. You stopped taking up space. You stopped dreaming because dreams need room to stretch and there was no room left. You started saying, "I am fine," when you were not fine because there was no room to be anything other than fine. And the worst part, the part that keeps you up at night, is that you blamed yourself. You thought if you could just be less sensitive, less needy, less much, maybe the room would stop shrinking. But it was never about you being too much. It was always about the room being too small. And here is the part you are not going to believe. Not because it is too good to be true, but because it completely reframes everything you thought was going wrong. Stay with me here. When a room gets small enough, when the walls press in close enough that you can barely breathe, something happens that could not happen when the room was comfortable. You start to feel the walls with your hands. And when you feel the walls with your hands, you find things you never noticed when you had space. When life was comfortable, you never ran your fingers along the edges. You never pressed against the surfaces. Why would you? There was no reason to. But now, in the compression, in the almost unbearable tightness of everything falling apart and pressing in, your hand finds something, a seam, a hinge, a door that was always there, built into the wall from the very beginning. You just could never find it until the room got small enough to force your hands against it. That is what this eclipse is. The room did not shrink to crush you. The room shrank to make you find the door. And I need you to understand what is on the other side. Because you have been so focused on the shrinking, so exhausted by the compression, so convinced that your world was ending, that you never once considered the possibility that your world was not ending. It was funneling, everything getting tighter and tighter and tighter until you were pressed right up against the one exit that leads somewhere real, somewhere yours. Every relationship that ended pushed you closer to that wall. Every opportunity that fell through turned you 2 degrees toward that door. Every night you lay awake wondering what was wrong with you. Your shoulder was already pressing against the handle. You just did not know it yet. And this eclipse, this total lunar eclipse, it is not the walls closing in one more time. It is the moment your hand finally closes around the handle. It is the moment the door gives. And what is on the other side is not another room. It is open air. It is a life with no walls that you have to shrink yourself to fit inside. It is the relationship that does not require you to fold yourself in half. It is the work that does not ask you to pretend. It is the morning where you wake up and the first thing you feel is not dread or emptiness, but space. Actual, expansive, breathable space. That is what is about to walk into your life. That is what has been waiting on the other side of the door this entire time. And the only reason you are finding it now is because the room finally got small enough to show you where it was. And here is the thing. I need to say this part because I think you need to hear it right now. Before I tell you specifically what is coming, I need you to hear something about who you already are. Not who you are becoming, who you are. Right now, in this exact moment. The fact that you have made it through what you have made it through, and you are still here, still open enough to watch this, still soft enough to hope that the universe has something for you, that tells me more about you than you realize. You did not harden. After everything, after the disappointment and the loneliness and the feeling of being unseen and the nights where you were not sure you could keep going, you did not harden. You are still here with your heart open. Do you know how rare that is? Do you know what that costs? You feel it in your chest right now. That tightness. That is not anxiety. That is your heart recognizing that someone finally sees what it has been carrying. You have been so strong for so long that you forgot that strength was not supposed to be silent. It was not supposed to be invisible. And the fact that no one in your daily life has said this to you does not mean it is not true. I know you think your sensitivity is a liability. I know there is a voice inside you that says you feel too much, you care too much, you need too much. And I know that voice has gotten louder recently because when life gets painful, sensitivity feels like a punishment. But here is what that voice does not know. Your depth is not the thing that is keeping good things from you. Your depth is the exact thing that is about to attract them. Because what is coming for you during this eclipse corridor is not surface level. It is not casual. It is not the kind of thing that finds people who have walled themselves off and stopped feeling. It is the kind of thing that finds people who feel everything. People like you. People who have stayed open when closing would have been so much easier. I know you have rehearsed letting go of hope. There is this thing you do, maybe you do not even realize it, where you start to feel excited about something and then you pull back. You talk yourself down. You say, do not get your hopes up. You have gotten so good at preemptive disappointment that you do it automatically now, like a reflex, like armor. And I need you to hear me when I say that you do not need that armor for what is coming. I know there have been nights where you almost gave up on believing that things could change, where you put your phone down and thought, I am tired of hoping. I am tired of looking for signs. I am tired of being the person who still cares this much. And then, the next morning, you got up anyway. You kept going anyway. That is not weakness. That is the kind of strength that the universe does not forget. Now let me tell you what is actually on its way to you. And I want to get specific because you did not click on this video for vague affirmations. You clicked because something in you is ready to know. This total lunar eclipse is not just closing a chapter. It is hand-delivering the first pages of the next one. And here is what those pages look like for you. This eclipse corridor is opening up 3 areas of your life simultaneously. And I need you to pay attention to which one makes your chest tighten, because that tightening is your body telling you where the door is opening for you. The first is in love and connection. And I am not talking about a fairy tale. I am talking about something much more valuable. During this eclipse window, someone is going to walk into your life, or someone already in your life is going to show up in a completely new way, and the feeling is not going to be fireworks. It is going to be relief. It is going to feel like exhaling for the first time in months, like being seen without having to explain yourself, like sitting across from someone and realizing you do not have to perform. You do not have to earn their presence. They are simply there because you are you, and that is enough. You will be sitting across from this person, or standing next to them, and something in your nervous system will settle. Your shoulders will drop, your jaw will unclench, and you will realize that you have been bracing yourself for years, waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting to be disappointed again. And in that moment, your body will know before your mind does. This one is safe, this one is real, this one is not going anywhere. For those of you who have been alone, and I mean really alone, not just single, but alone in the way where you stopped believing someone could actually match your depth, this eclipse is rearranging that. The loneliness was not emptiness. It was a reservation, space held open for something that could not arrive until you stopped trying to fill it with things that were never meant to fit. The second area is in your work and your sense of purpose. And this one is going to surprise you because it is not going to look like what you expected. During this corridor, you are going to get an idea that scares you a little. An opportunity that does not match the plan, but matches something much deeper. A conversation with someone that redirects your thinking in a direction you had not considered. Pay attention to that. The eclipse does not send you what is comfortable. It sends you what is correct. And correct does not always look neat. Sometimes it looks like a left turn when you were sure you were supposed to go straight. Trust the left turn. And the third area, the one that I think matters the most powerful thing that is going to walk into your life during this eclipse is not a person, and it is not an opportunity. It is you. The version of you that all of this compression has been building. And it is not going to be a dramatic moment. It is going to be an ordinary one. You will be doing something simple, something you have done 100 times, and for no reason you can name, it will hit you. You like who you are now, not in spite of what you have been through, because of it. You will stand there or sit there, and for the first time in longer than you can remember, you will not wish you were someone else. You will not compare yourself to the person you used to be or the person you think you should be. You will just be you, and it will be enough, more than enough. You have been so busy surviving that you have not noticed who you have become in the process. And she is extraordinary. And this eclipse is going to introduce you to her. So here is what I want you to do. And this is practical, because understanding the energy is important, but working with it is what creates the shift. Before this eclipse peaks, I want you to take 5 minutes alone. Just 5. Find somewhere quiet, put your phone down, and write one sentence on a piece of paper. The sentence is this: I am ready to receive. And then finish it with whatever word comes. Do not think about it. Do not edit it. Peace, love, clarity, purpose, joy, space. Whatever your hand writes, that is the truth your body has been holding. Then, on a separate piece of paper, write down what you are ready to let go of. The belief that you are not enough. The attachment to how it was supposed to look. The fear that you will always be standing in that hallway. Write it down and then destroy that paper. Tear it, burn it, flush it. The physical act matters. Your body needs to feel the release, not just think it. And then for the next 6 months, because that is how long this eclipse corridor stays open, I want you to do one thing. Pay attention. Pay attention to who shows up. Pay attention to what doors open without you pushing. Pay attention to the ideas that come at strange hours and the invitations that appear from unexpected places. Your only job is to notice and say yes. Not to force anything. Not to manufacture anything. Just to notice what arrives and have the courage to let it in. Remember, the door does not ask you to shrink to walk through it. If you have to make yourself smaller to fit, it is not your door. Before I let you go, one last thing. You have been in the room long enough. You have been small long enough. You have been standing in that hallway, waiting, wondering, carrying the weight of not knowing for long enough. Your hand is on the door. This eclipse is the moment it opens. And I need you to promise me something. When it opens, when the air hits your face and you feel that space for the first time in what might be months or might be years, do not look back at the room. Do not wonder if you should have stayed where it was small but familiar. Walk through. The room was never your home. It was the hallway to your home, and you just found the way out. What is about to walk into your life, and something is, I hope you let it in. I hope you do not shrink from it. I hope you meet it as the person you have become, not the person you used to be. You were meant to see this tonight. Now you know why.